So getting started, today we are going to be going over the announcement for the end of sale and the end of life for the central endpoint protection as well as the central server protection. So these are the two entry level SKUs that you have in Sophos Central. This is the basic AV protection for the endpoint, and the server does not include any of the Intercept X components with it as of today. So what's going to be happening with the migration plans and with the end of life on this is with the end of life for the endpoint protection as well as the server protection, we are going to be transitioning those into a brand new product SKU. We are going to be introducing Central Intercept X Essentials and Essentials for Server. And we're going to go over what that covers here in just a second. So this is going to happen on June 30th, 2020. That is going to be the end of sale date. You will no longer be able to sell the central endpoint protection or the central server protection on both term and on monthly. Starting July 1st, for all new customers, they will be offered, if you're going to go with that entry level tier, the Intercept X Essentials. Now, for all of your existing customers, what we're planning to do is a migration. We're going to migrate all of the CEP and all the CSP customers out there over to CIXE, which is the Central Intercept X Essentials. For MSP customers, that is going to happen in the calendar Q4 timeframe. We do not have an exact date. Once we have the exact date on that, we will get that sent out to all partners. If you have termed customers on there, that migration will happen sometime in the September timeframe towards the end of summer. So one of the big questions we're probably going to get on here is, why are we doing this? Why are we end-of-lifing the central endpoint protection, the central server protection? And the main reason on there comes down to better protection for all of our customers. The current endpoint product does not include any of the Intercept X protection. And what we want to do moving forward is have all of our endpoint products include that core Intercept X protection, the anti-ransomware, the anti-exploit, your deep learning AI protection, the active adversary protection for your environments. All of that will now be included at the baseline, the Intercept X Essentials offering. And again, this is just to provide that additional security for all customers. We all understand at this point that the basic signature-based protection is just not enough. So what this is going to look like, and if you are using CEP, you are going to lose a few features on there. And we'll talk about what you can do before the migration time to move up. If you are using these features, what is your migration path? Where will you go to? If you are not using these features, you don't need to worry about it. And here's the additional components and protection that you will get. So with CEP and CSP today, you have the web control option, the application control, peripheral control, and the data loss prevention. Those are included with the product. When we convert over to the Intercept X Essentials, we will be removing the web control, app control, peripheral, and the DLP component on there. What you will be gaining, again, is going to be the anti-ransomware, the anti-exploit, the AI, the active adversary mitigation component on there. All of the Intercept X protection components inside of there. We're also going to be changing up how the policies work on there today. So today you do have multiple policy support. We are going to be converting the Intercept X Essentials to a base policy only. So that means when you go into your endpoint policy, your server policies, you will not have the ability to add additional layers of policies on top if you are just licensed for the Intercept X Essentials. If you are using the web control, application control, peripheral control today, the migration path, and I know we've been pushing this out there quite a bit, the migration path will be to move up to the Intercept X Advanced. The Intercept X Advanced will include all of the web control, the application control, peripheral control, all of the features. It's also going to include the threat cases on there. So you'll notice one of the line items on there with the Intercept X Essentials is you will not get that nice, pretty threat case on there, which most of us, if you're on the Intercept X Advanced today, are used to. You're used to getting that after action report as to what happened. The breakdown of it came in through Outlook. It executed this file, which ran a PowerShell, which then tried to encrypt some file or do some malicious event inside of the environment. That will only be available starting at the Intercept X Advanced. Now, these are not the 3 tiers. These are just the 3 comparison tiers we have here and the migration path for those. So again, if you need those web control, application, peripheral control, your migration path is to take your customer today, move them. And we do recommend go ahead and get this started as soon as possible. Move them from the CEP licensing and get them over to the Intercept X Advanced. If you are not using those and you are just using it as a basic AV, there is nothing that you need to do at this point. They will be automatically migrated calendar Q4 this year. So that'll happen all behind the scenes. Anything moving forward on July 1st, you'll automatically see an option in there for that Intercept X Essentials. That is really all we have today. It's a very short webinar on there. I figured this wouldn't go much more than probably 5 to 10 minutes through there, and then wanted to just open this up for any questions that you guys have. We've got myself on the line. We have all of your CAEs from the East, West, and Central areas, as well as all of our local CAMs on there. So if you have any questions, please put those into the Q&A. We'll be happy to go through and answer any of those.
Hey, Steve, we do have a question regarding the base policy. And again, I would presume this would be for the Intercept X Essentials product. Will they have the ability to modify the base policy?
Yes, absolutely. So the base policy will still be there, and it will still operate as it does today. You will still be able to go in and make any of the the policy exclusions in there, the per policy exclusions, any of the threat options that you want to make sure, obviously you have a recommended on there. If you want to change any of that, you're absolutely welcome to do that as well. You're also able to go in and change your scheduled scannings. If you have global templates enabled, just keep in mind that that will override the base policy and will lock it down. So if you are using the partner level global templates, then you will only have a base policy, which will be at that point in time locked down unless you remove the global template from that customer. So yes, you'll still be able to modify your policies on the base. You just won't be able to add anything above it. So like we do currently today, we have a base policy, then we can add another policy for a certain set of devices or a certain set of users. You can layer those on top. That feature will only be available in Intercept X Advanced and above. What else do we have out there?
Perfect. Yes. Folks are asking about this chart. Obviously, you guys will get a copy of this recording, but is there a chart or a feature comparison schematic on the partner portal?
I don't know if it is on the partner portal yet. What we'll do is I will make sure that I'm okay with putting this on the YouTube page as far as the full comparison out there. We will have it eventually on the partner portal. It should have gone out with the announcement emails that started to go out last week. But I'll also make sure on the YouTube channel when we post this up there that we have a link to the comparison, which will actually be a more comprehensive list than I have here. It'll show all the differences between the CEP and the CIXE.
Gotcha. And there's some questions around upgrading promos. Best answer that I can give you would be to reach out to your local rep for specific questions around promotions and upgrades and what conditions you would be able to take advantage of this particular upgrade.
Yep, absolutely. All right, what else do we have out there? I see there's a bunch in the Q&A.
Surprised. Okay, so yeah, I've got a couple of questions. Up there's the price one. Yeah, okay. The plan with pricing, Steve. Do you want to take that, or do you want me to?
If you have it, go for it.
Yeah, right now the plan is to keep the Intercept X Essentials price at or as close to the current price that you guys are paying for central endpoint protection, both on the endpoint and on the server. So the plan is to keep that price as close to, if not exact, to what the current CEP and server protection products are. Yeah, there was a couple of those.
So one of the big benefits in there, I mean, obviously, again, if you are using those peripheral control components, that'll be another conversation. But one of the biggest components out there, and keeping that price the same is, again, just that additional protection out there. We've seen it way too often. We do have our rapid response team, and what happens is we have a customer that is protected with just CEP. They get hit by ransomware. Obviously, there is no ransomware protection inside of there, a 0-day, and now they're coming to us with a rapid response case, to help them remediate and kick the bad guys out. This is all just a way to make sure that we at least start with the best foothold on there possible, making sure that you have the anti-ransomware, the anti-exploit, all the next gen capabilities in there. And again, you'll get those at the same cost as that CEP, or again, as close as possible.
Yeah, question around logistics with additional policies that were previously configured on CEP. What happens to those policies when we switch over to Essentials?
So essentially, those will just disappear. So they will be hidden from there. If you upgrade to the Intercept X Advanced, it should reveal those again. So essentially, we're not going to delete any of the licenses on, or any of the policies on there, from what I'm being told, but they will be hidden and they will not be enforced. So whatever is on your base policy, if once it moves from the CEP to the CIXE, which again, not happening until Q4 this year, so sometime November, December timeframe. So you got some time for those particular customers, but then it will convert down to just the base policy.
Got it. Yep. So that was answered live. Let's see, what else do we have here? So is Essentials totally without signatures?
So it is not. So we still have our file and memory scanning, which you can see here on the line item. That's part of the Intercept X Advanced product. That's part of the Sophos product. Period. We're not getting rid of the known bad guys. To be able to go in, if we have the signature, we know what it looks like. We can go ahead and take action on that very quickly. But it is including all of the additional protections that you do not have today.
Perfect. Okay, so got a couple other questions coming in here. What happens with the customer when they use web and peripheral control with CEP and have an existing license and don't want to upgrade to CIXE? So they essentially get migrated to CIXE and they lose the ability to have that web and peripheral control.
Yep. So correct, if you don't upgrade them prior and they are using those, and we get into the November, December timeframe and we do that convert over to CIXE, those policies will disappear out of their console and will no longer be enforced on those endpoints.
Perfect. Yeah, I get a lot of questions around pricing. Yes, pricing for CIXE Intercept X Essentials will be comparable to what you're currently paying now for central endpoint protection, both on the endpoints and on the servers.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's any other questions, definitely let us know. I know Eric's keeping an eye on the Q&A there. We've got a lot of questions around the pricing, which I think we've pretty well sufficiently answered here. It is a pretty easy, migration of what we're doing. And again, the reasoning behind it, again, just better protection. If you have, again, those customers out there and you want to start moving them all today, before we get to the end of the month over to that CIXE, and you want to have that conversation on price or promos or anything else that we can do, definitely reach out to your local team. They'll be more than happy to work with you on making sure that we can keep all the same functionality that they're used to today with the CEP, with the web control, and again, enhancing that with the Intercept X components.
Yep. Again, if there's other questions, certainly reach out to your local MSP team or your local in-territory teams, and we can definitely get conversations had and questions answered on a more specific case-by-case basis.
So I do see one that's not about this. Is there any development happening to have any anti-ransomware protection for non-Windows OSs, examples Ubuntu? So obviously not part of this, but happy to talk about it while we're on here. We do have plans to add, basically break Linux out as well as Mac OS out to their own categories and own families on there. And we do have the goal in mind to bring additional Intercept X features to those products as well. So that is something that they are reviewing. I don't know when that'll happen. I don't have any timelines or exactly what features will be enabled inside of there, but that is all things that they are working on today as to what can we bring to the Linux environment and what additional components can we bring into the Mac OS environment as well. Feature comparison. Yes, there will be a recording of this. I did mention that earlier. We will be sending out the recording. We will also be putting a cut down version of the recording on our YouTube channel as well. And I will try to make sure I have that comparison chart listed there. Anything else, Eric?
Just kind of scrolling through. Will we need to reinstall or update agents for this change? As far as the Flex migration is scheduled, which is scheduled to go later on in Q4, no. Basically, the existing CEP and server protection clients will essentially just be upgraded and renamed to the new product. So no need to uninstall or update anything when you're just allowing the migration to occur. When you guys, or if you decide to upgrade to Intercept X Advanced, that would require a change of license type, which can be handled through Sophos Central. Steve, correct me if I missed anything on that.
Nope, that's correct. Yeah, nothing will need to be reinstalled or updated on the agents. I do see a question in here on, is CEA impacted by this conversion? So CEA is the Central Endpoint Advanced, which over a year and a half ago, I believe, was renamed to CEP. So CEA, which is the Central Endpoint Advanced, is CEP. So again, if you're using those older names inside of there, yes, that CEA and CEP are the exact same thing. That will be end of life, end of sale, and will be converted over to the Intercept X Essentials.
Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling through here, just making sure we didn't miss anything. Yeah, as far as the messaging around this particular announcement, this just happened within the last couple of weeks, and there's a comment about it being heavily promoted. Yes, obviously we want to get our existing endpoint protection and server protection clients upgraded to at least Intercept X Essentials. And again, if you need the extra features that Intercept X Advanced bring, obviously that is going to be the route that we recommend. But we really want to get the best possible protection out there, which is really, as Steve mentioned, the reason why we're making this change and the reason why we're choosing to communicate on this webinar. We needed to get a better solution out there, and Intercept X Essentials is that upgrade.
All right, I am not seeing anything else out there. There's something in the chat.
Oh, timelines. Yeah, Steve, do you mind flipping back a slide or two?
Yep, right here. So yeah, as far as timelines go, end of sale. So when we mention end of sale, that's not the product is going end of life. That's just we will no longer have any new sales of the Central Endpoint Protection or the Central Server Protection. So the last day that you'll actually see that available, and if you're on MSP, the last day you'll see that available is going to be June 30th when you go to create a new customer. Everything moving forward from July 1st, when you create a brand new customer, will have the Intercept X Essentials. And again, timeline on migration for MSP is calendar Q4. As of right now, it is scheduled for sometime in the November to December timeframe. They are working on the exact dates. They are working also to make sure that that doesn't happen to land on any vacation days, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So they're trying to plan that accordingly. For the termed licensing, I believe the date, if I'm not mistaken, is September, so the end of summer, and they'll have a transition for all of those. Again, nothing that you need to do from your side unless you're wanting to move those customers, from the CEP, the Central Endpoint Protection, or the Central Server Protection to Intercept X Advanced. If you're wanting to do that prior to all of the migration, prior to the end of sale, you can definitely start doing that today.
Okay, and then after July 1st, Steve, if an MSP were to deploy CEP, they would only be able to deploy Essentials. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, after July 1st, only Essentials.
Yeah, and keep in mind the pricing between Essentials and CEP will remain the same. So essentially, it is an upgrade in protection at the same cost with a new SKU.
All right. You have any more questions in there?
Yeah, it doesn't look like
okay,
it.
here's a good one. If we add additional computers to an existing client after July 1st, will they stay current with CEP? So yes, if you add, the customer record is what is going to be migrated at the end of the year. So those customers that are currently on CEP today, their accounts, if you don't migrate them to Intercept X Advanced prior to the end of sale, they will still be on CEP until we get to the migration later in the November, December timeframe. So any new endpoints that they add as to their account will still be on CEP. They will not just automatically get the 60, the Intercept X Essentials on there. So if their account is CEP today, it will stay CEP until we do the migration of all the existing accounts.
Yeah, and the migration date for the Flex licensing is very fluid. So there's a couple comments on when that exact date has been determined. Right now, it has not, but you will become aware, and we will essentially be reaching out to you to make sure that you guys are aware of when that date does become concrete. You will know well in advance. So pay attention to the communications that do come out. And I know, myself and my counterparts on the East and West and globally will be reaching out to our partners to ensure that they were or are aware of the date once we do get it. But right now, it's still very fluid.
Yeah, I know pricing keeps coming up inside of here. Again, pricing, as far as we've been told, is going to be the same, if not, maybe a few cents off, but it is going to be the same as what you're paying for CEP. So there is no big change as far as what you're getting. As soon as we have the actual price list updated on there, we will get that sent out to all of you so you can see, the new SKU names inside of there. We should have that here within, I believe, the next couple days, if not in the next week, and we will have that on the partner portal, so you can go ahead and download that. As far as the migration, somebody mentioned that again, that the email stated September, October. The September, October is for termed licensing. That will be the migration for termed licensed customers. Those will happen first on the back end. For the monthly customers, those will happen the November, December timeframe. And as far as the system requirements go, if you take a look at the system requirements for Intercept X Advanced, the requirements for the Intercept X Essentials will be similar to that. Definitely thanks for everybody for joining us here. If you have any additional questions, if anything's not clear, definitely reach out to your local team. Check the partner portal. We should have up, hopefully in the next few days here, a brand new price list, which will have the Intercept X Essentials SKUs on there as well. So you can see that exact price on there, making sure. And again, if there is any questions, if something is a few cents higher on there, you have questions, just reach out to your local team. They'll be happy to work with you. All right. Thank you all for joining, and we will catch you on the next webinar.